There's victory in the house tonight. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. You may be seated. I'll just take a moment, but many people think of the United Pentecostal Church International as majority white Caucasian. Of course, that's not true at all around the world. We now have about, counting the U.S. and Canada and all the 212 nations of the world, we have about 45,000 congregations. Praise God. The majority of them are not white. The majority of them do not speak English. So when we talk about what is the music style of the UPCI, what Bible translation does the UPCI use, what style of dress does the UPCI have, we have to talk principles, because we can't just talk about an American or a Canadian or a white or a Caucasian or an English answer. It has to be an answer that's worldwide. We believe in holiness, but it's implemented in all cultures of the world. You can't stereotype or narrowly focus. Now, even in the U.S. and Canada, we now have over 4,600 churches. And by the way, I'm happy to tell you, Brother Jones can verify this, but as of a few days ago, our credentialed ministers in the U.S. and Canada are now 10,003. First time ever over 10,000. Something is happening in the United Pentecostal Church International. Something is happening in the apostolic movement. Now, when we look at our targeted ethnic and multicultural outreach, let me just say this. I believe every church should reach its community. So we really don't have white churches and black churches and English churches and Spanish churches. We just have churches. When I was a district superintendent, sometimes somebody would say, a Spanish-speaking minister would come to the district board to get approval for a church, and somebody would say, well, maybe it's okay to approve a Spanish church here. I'd say, wait just a minute. When we approve a church, we just approve a church. If they start having service in Tagalog, we're not going to pull their church status. They can win anybody they want to win. They can win anybody they're capable of winning. Because a church is a church. A church wins souls. We're not going to restrict this. They can only win Spanish people. They can only win English people. They're going to win people. Praise God. Having said that, we must be strategic and intentional. If we're going to reach the ethnic communities, if we're going to reach the various cultures and languages, we're going to reach the immigrants, we can't just say, everybody come. We have to have targeted areas, go into minority communities, go into language groups, raise up young men and women who represent these ethnicities, so we have a dual approach. That is, every church reaches its community regardless, but we also have a strategy to reach targeted minority communities in order to be effective. So having said that, we have three main targeted strategic outreaches. They're all represented here tonight. Our Spanish Evangelism Ministries, our Building the Bridge Ministries, and particularly the focus of this summit, our multicultural ministries. When you take all of those together, churches that are being planted by people of ethnic minorities or language groups represented in those three ministries. I don't know if we have the full number yet, but we're probably talking about 20 to 25% of our total churches here in the U.S. and Canada. That is significant. And then when we take all of our constituents from churches of the majority culture of Anglo, Caucasian, white, English-speaking, however you want to define that, and you look at the significant minorities within those churches, we can safely say that about 35% of the constituents of the United States and Canada of the UPCI are from various cultural and linguistic and racial minorities. So we can no longer think, if we ever did, it's a white church, an Anglo church, a Caucasian church. It's God's church, and it's representing every tongue, every nation, every tribe, every race, every language. This is your church. This is your revival. This is what God is doing right here in North America and through North America, reaching the entire world. That's why we have a multicultural ministry summit. That's who we are. We are multicultural. We are united. We are united, not divided, but we are Pentecostal. And if you go back to the day of Pentecost, there were people from all the nations of the Roman Empire who received the Holy Ghost. There were people of various languages that received the Holy Ghost on the day of Pentecost. So when you say Pentecostal, you don't mean English, you don't mean white, you mean the nations of the world. We are united, we are Pentecostal, we are the church, and we are international. We ought to praise God for that right.
Can the International Church of Jesus Christ say amen? Praise God. Thank you, Brother Bernard. We're so thankful for your leadership, your ministry, and your presence at this conference.